Next up is Douglas Miles, and we have a lot to learn from him as well. He has a very successful business with the skateboards, and he'll be happy to share his stories about murals and other collaborations.
It's called branding. For those of you that don't know anything about fashion. My name's Douglas Miles. I'm a fine artist. I'm a muralist. I'm a photographer. I'm a short filmmaker. I'm a director. There's not a lot that I don't do. And I always tell people, and I've said this before online, if I was white, they'd call me Picasso. But because I'm brown, they call me a troublemaker, a big mouth. But I don't care, because I make the work. I'm the expert. I'm the Indian expert. I shoot better photos than Edward Curtis. Can you imagine if Curtis would have took the camera and gave it to the Indian people? Oh, don't say that, Doug. No, we need to stab some of these sacred Edward Curtis cows. Why? Because if we don't stab the sacred Edward Curtis cows, I can't stand here in front of you and be myself. I have to be the noble red man and talk to you like Johnny Depp and the Lone Ranger. If I don't kill the Edward Curtis sacred cow, you're going to expect me to come out here and share with you amazing wisdom from years ago. Because that's what a lot of people think when they think of Native American people. Sad to say. Oh, I'm supposed to show these pictures. I did a collaboration with a skate brand, which also has a surf brand, which also has a snowboard brand, which also has a women's brand, which also has a children's brand called Volcom. Volcom actually asked me probably really going back into probably 2006, I met the creative director of Volcom, and he said, hey, would you like to design us a t-shirt? And I met him in Orange County, which of course is headquarters for the action sports retailers. But I met him because I run Apache skateboards, and I tell people, I didn't invent skateboarding, but I did invent Apache skateboards. You might have think you've seen it all before, but you've never seen it like this. That's 15 years of Apache skateboards linking tribal and skate cultures. I don't care if you call it division, it's tribal. We're tribal people. That's where we come from. I live in San Carlos, raised my kids on a dirt road. That's my son. We're tribal people. I'm the Indian expert because I'm an expert on me. I make stuff for me, and then I make it for my kids, then I make it for my community, then I make it for the world. That's how it works. I'm not making it for investors. I'm not making it for board members. Because the reality of what Indian art is Indian art belongs to Indian people. Let that sink into your ears. I said Indian art belongs to Indian people. Indian art and Indian people, Native Americans, whatever you want to call us, are far bigger than the institutions, the museums, and the buildings that hold us. Without Native people, Native art, Native aesthetics, half the people in this room wouldn't even have a job. Let's just be real. I am your job security. You better make sure I get a sandwich when I leave. Because what I'm doing right now, I guarantee you in 5, 10 years, it's going to be in these hallways. It's already upstairs. I told you, if I was white, they'd call me Picasso. But you don't believe me. Go to dmiles1_Apache on Instagram. Then you'll know. Oh, go to @WhatTribeProject on Instagram. Then you'll know. Oh, go to @Instapache1 on Instagram. Then you'll know that I'm not just boasting. You don't even know. Maybe the mothership just now landed right here, right now. Because I heard the Smithsonian has the George Clinton mothership somewhere. Why did they have the George Clinton mothership? Why? Because we want the funk. It's my daughters, Grace, Rebecca, and oh no, did I appropriate something? I'm sorry, Francis Ford Coppola. I'm sorry, American artists. I'm sorry, American culture. You've been ripping us off for about 500 years. I think it's okay to get a little bit back. Apache Lips Now is a play on words of the film Apocalypse Now. Apocalypse Now is an amazing work of art about a renegade general who leaves working for the government. Where's Horse Capture at? I know he went renegade. And he starts his own tribe because he sees the hypocrisy of the American government going into a foreign nation and blowing them up. It's called Apocalypse Now. It's one of the greatest films of American art. Don't stand up here and looking at me like I said something un-American. Go complain to Francis Ford Coppola. It's my niece, my daughter, behind the scenes, working on a film. This is my skate team, out in the wilds of the reservation. Don't they look savage? These are 2 skateboard designs. I draw the skateboard designs to scale. I mean, I lay the skateboard down, I draw it. And you know, I show art, I've shown it around the Southwest, and for a while people would always say, oh, I really like your art, but I don't like the guns. Well, I didn't like it either when you were shooting at us for 500 years. Can you hear me? I'm getting worked up. I didn't like it either after we'd been shot at for 500 years, put on a reservation. That's what you're showing here in the museum, what's left of 500 years of struggle, of battle, of poverty, of resilience, of power, of wisdom, of art, of creativity. That's what you're showing, and what they're showing in Native Fashion Now is really what people don't know, and they don't like to call it, but it's new culture. Everything Virgil Ortiz touches, it's new. Virgil Ortiz will spit and a whole new collection will come out because he understands new culture. I need to hang out with him a little bit more. Just a little bit more. You saw what he did. I'm like, oh my God, he got to go down to Karen's house? Ate her food? You know, food like the Indian people is a big deal, right? Apache helicopters, Apache skateboards. What's the big deal? This is a team at the Navajo Nation Fair wearing the Volcom Apache collection t-shirts. So when Volcom approached me 5 years later, it was a 5-year conversation, they said, we'd like you to design some things for us. And I said, okay, great, what do you want? They said, whatever you want. And I was like, well, those are the magic words. I said, well, really, what do you want me to make? They said, whatever you want, socks, hats, shoes, shorts, t-shirts, wallets, whatever, and then send it to us, and then we'll pick it out. That's what they did. So I saw Virgil earlier. I actually told him I designed 20 things for Volcom. Some of them are upstairs. You can see them in Native Fashion Now. I have actually 40 or 50 different sketches, though, that I emailed them. But they only produced 6 or 7. And they never said, oh, could you put more feathers on it? Or all they ever said is, look, anything that you think is disrespectful to your culture, that's sensitive, we don't want to make it, just let us know and we won't. That's what they told me on the phone. And they were super, super cool about it. It's close-ups of the t-shirts. On the bottom it says Volcom Apache collab. That's all my handwriting, that's all my text, that's all my artwork. All they did is like kind of clean up. And I think I also added the Volcom logo and the arrow tips. And so pretty much everything is, they just kind of cleaned it up. They picked the colors, though. I didn't pick the colors. I just created the art. And this was actually '09 when I designed the stuff. It was released in 2010, and then I had boxes and boxes of stuff, and I started taking it to Santa Fe and showing it to people, talking to native curators, native art critics. They had no idea who Volcom was at that time. They had no idea, like, oh yeah, that's nice. Well, now everybody knows, but one of the reasons they know is because Native Fashion Now came on the scene. Thank God for people like Jessica Metcalf. Thank God for writers like Adrienne Keene, because native artists and native art belongs to native people. What we're really talking about is native people, native artists need agency in a world and society that has continually stolen all the agency right from under our very feet. When you steal the country, it gives you the attitude and the idea, well, I can take anything I want now. I took the land, I'll go ahead and take the moccasins. I took the rivers and the mountains, they're not going to matter if I take the headdress. It's not going to matter. We took everything already. It's called white supremacy. You see, cultural misappropriation, cultural appropriation is nothing other than the lapdog of white supremacy, which is really / institutional racism at work. Institutional racism is very heinous. It's the racism that stands right in your face and will tell you to your face, I'm not a racist. We're all from the human race. It's the kind of racism that's expected and accepted from the Washington Redskins, from Chief Wahoo. It's okay, because after we conquer you, we get to own you too. And we get to own your image. And you can't tell us what to do because we conquered you. Well, wait a minute. I thought we were human beings. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want sympathy. I'm Native American, and I'm a man. But really, I'm Native American, and the whole idea is I don't want sympathy. I want respect. And don't you want that too? So my friend Rose, she actually went to school, I think, in it's a fancy design school. And where did she go? She went to RISD. And so when she was at RISD, I sent her this stuff, right? And she was at RISD, I sent her this stuff. I said, you show them kids what a guy from San Carlos is doing, what they're trying to learn right now. You show those kids what a guy from San Carlos did, what they're trying to learn, which might take them another 10 years. So she did, and she sent the proof. I know I got to wrap it up. I know you guys are excited. You're happy to hear me talk and all, but I know this is a feel-good of the year. It's like the 1980s feel-good movie, I know, but I'm going to wrap it up, okay? I promise you. This is a catalog. That's a pro skater. You see the 2 T-shirts, front and back, the hoodie, the belt. You can't really see the wallet very well. And a lot of these, of course, they're almost all sold out. I had to ask family and friends that still have it to loan it to Native Fashion Now. But when we talked with Native Fashion Now, I was honored to be a part of it. But when I sat down, I realized that really it was just myself and Virgil Ortiz are probably 2 of the only Native American designers that had ever really worked with the large corporate, nationwide and international brands. And so even though he's working, of course, more of the ready-to-wear, pret-a-porter, haute couture aspect, and that's cool, that's dope, that's fresh. And I never really thought of myself as a designer until this. And then I thought, oh shoot, I'm a designer now. Now I can be as crazy and flamboyant as I want too. This is the advertisement that was on the Japanese websites for Volcom. And so, of course, they're advertising Apache design clothing in Japan. And, of course, it still says Volcom Apache. These are the back of the hoodies. This was another brand I worked for, which also was a skate brand called iPath. iPath was a footwear brand that was eventually bought by Timberland, which eventually sold it to another company, which is now defunct, which some brands do go defunct because they either grow too fast, they're no longer relevant, they sell out, et cetera, et cetera. iPath is no longer around, but we designed a skate shoe before the Nike N7 shoe came out in around 08. In 07, 08, Nike N7 was actually putting out press releases about, and this is verbatim, you can actually look this up. This is the first time Nike has ever designed a shoe for a specific race of people. Research it, look it up. It actually says that in the N7 press release. Because Native Americans are known to have extreme rates of obesity and diabetes. I'm like, no, please, no, don't put that out. It was too late. It was everywhere. Talk about stereotype. Talk about institutional racism. Don't get me wrong. A dope shoe is a dope shoe. I love the Nike Dunk. But was that necessary for them to say that? Like, well, we're doing you a favor, Indian people. Not like that, you're not. This was not for a specific race of people. This was just for skaters. I probably have, I don't know, maybe 10 pairs. I have all the samples in San Carlos. This was the only pair that they actually produced. It was sold around the country. And then we actually did what I call Apache Gold. It was like a buckskin color, but it was only a sample. They only did this one. This is a young girl that's going to work for Apache Skateboards. She's Navajo. She loves skateboarding. That's why I love this picture, because she loves skateboarding. She was really happy to get the stuff. She goes, I'm so honored, I'm so happy to represent your company, she said. And of course, we're happy too. And my goal is to sell art, do good in my business, so I can do this. That's what Apache Skateboards does. We sponsor kids. And then I'm showing you how the designs are made. A lot of them are just very raw stencil designs. Oops, that shouldn't be in there. Oh no, I think I just culturally appropriated. I don't know what to do. I hope nobody works for Coach here, because I think I'm in big trouble, right? I love this design. I mean, don't you? This is for sale, by the way. I have these with me. The only thing I forgot to draw was in the back of that little carriage was a bunch of arrows sticking out. That was the only thing I forgot to draw. But this whole thing right here, APAG, San Carlos, that's all hand-drawn and hand-done. I wrote to a friend, I said, hey, can you do this for me on Photoshop? He goes, I can't find that font right away. I can't find that font. Well, thank God I went to school, right? I learned art, and I went to graphic design school. Some of us do. Not all of us Indians are just born with natural talent. I know some of you are, Indian people over there, have natural talent. I know you do, sitting around the teepee, making stuff. I seen it on the second floor. Good for you. Right. Right. Because I know some of you also have natural rhythm. Right. Right. See, that's the thing I think that makes Native art so unamazing in the psyche of the Americans, because I think sometimes American people look at Indian artists and say, oh my God, how did that Indian man make that? Honey, look at the Indians make skateboards now. Oh my gosh, these people, they live on the reservation. They're so talented. Virgil Ortiz, how did you get so good? You just live in an adobe house. Where did you learn this stuff at? That, to me, is the most unamazing thing about being a Native American artist, because sometimes in the back of my mind, that's what I think white people are thinking when they look at me. Please tell me you're not thinking that. Because we worked hard to make it look that easy. He works his butt off to make it look like it's just, it's just Photoshop, people. Probably Virgil has haters like, it's just Photoshop. Anybody could do that on a computer program. No, you can't. You got to understand the human form first. You got to understand texture and line and shape, design. You just don't do that on a computer. You have to not only think in 3D, you have to live in those clothes. You have to live and move the way the people that are going to wear your clothes live and move. I love this design. Prince died approximately 1 year and 1 day ago. Prince himself said he was a slave to the system that held all of his art, and he couldn't even own it. It was held supposedly in trust for them, but in reality, Warner Brothers owned his art, and he hated that system. Of course, he finally broke free. I think he paid a terrible price. I think he probably never recovered from it. I think for a while he was blackballed, but at least he was free. But I think sometimes it happens to Native American artists when we get the chance to make it, when we get the chance to work with large institutions. But sometimes large institutions want to kind of shove you into a box, like Prince did not want to be in the box. Because the reality of it is Prince was the box. See, I have a saying, it's one thing to be ahead of the curve, right? Oh yeah, they're ahead of the curve, they're ahead of the curve. It's another thing to be the curve. It's another thing to be the curve. Oh darn, I forgot my notes. That's a spray painted piece that's done at a secret spot in San Carlos. It says Apache Rain, and with a little bit of digital skills that I have, I superimposed it with the son of Cochise and his wife, and that's also my newest t-shirt. And then, of course, this is an old favorite, which is an Apache Skateboards logo on a black t-shirt. I also have that. And we're back at the beginning. This is actually on Vice.com, but I want to wrap it up. I don't know if I answered all your questions about what that's like to work with the big brand. It's amazing. If any of you are working with the big brand right now, I'm here, I'm available. Those of you at FIT, tell your friends, let's get that Apache guy. Is FIT people here, or did they leave? Did they leave? Did they get scared? Did I scare you off? FIT people, you can get a hold of me. Virgil's right there. I'm here. I don't think Virgil really needs your help. I kind of do. I think Virgil's doing okay. Let's just be honest. Virgil, I'm not a hater. I love what you do. But I don't think he needs FIT's help. But FIT, you could hit me up. I'm here. I'm native. You want to come take pictures of the rusty car in my backyard, that's fine. If it makes you feel better, your shareholders feel better, fine. That's good. But you're only allowed to take one picture of one rusty car in my yard. Just one. I'll sell out just a little bit, okay? Just a little bit. Okay, thank you.